Marthaly, how are we doing today?
We're doing great. Yes,
Awesome,
doing
awesome.
great.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
Always like to start out with asking, who am I sitting here with today? And tell us a little bit about your background.
All right. So if I were to summarize it, I would say I'm a lifelong resident of Orange County with 30 years of experience in public service. But who is Marthaly, right? Marthaly is a mom of two amazing young adults that I adore deeply. I have been a resident of Orange County since 1990. I was born in Puerto Rico. I love my island. I like to mention I was born in Ponce and raised in Yauco, two of the towns that I adore. I'm a graduate of Colonial High School and completed my master's degree in public administration from UCF. And after that, I would say I have been working with Orange County government for almost 30 years. So I'm a public servant of my whole career.
Amazing. And one more thing I want to add to the resume, if I may.
Yeah.
So I have this awesome pin here,
Yes, you do. I saw it.
and
Yes.
you led the Orange County Mayor's Citizens Academy,
Yes.
and I was part of the first graduating class. And I did want to share that you were like mama bear there. Like you made
Yes.
sure
It
everybody
was
was
my
good.
baby. Yes.
You crushed it, and you were so kind. I remember, and
you.
every single week we met up, like you always led with intensity but kindness, and you like really cared. So
Yes.
just want to say thank you. You made that experience awesome.
Thank you. That was one of my biggest accomplishment was with Orange County. We'll talk more about the Mayor Citizens Academy, but thank you for wearing your pin. The logo and the concept behind the logo was one of my creations, so I'm very proud of that one too.
Amazing. So you're currently running for Orange County Commissioner for District 3.
Yes.
What ultimately led you to that decision?
So that was a purpose-driven decision. It was a calling placed on me. Uh, More than anything, working with Orange County for 30 years, it was something that I've always worked in the background, as you know, with the Mayor Citizens Academy, right? You work in all the planning, you work with the community. It was time to do more. I feel like I've been called to do more, not just play it safe in the background, but represent our community. I want to continue working with Orange County residents. I want to continue giving back to my community. And the opportunity was perfect.
Awesome. Marthaly, you spent nearly 29 years
Yes.
serving Orange County government. Looking back, what are some moments that kind of stand out or stay with you from that experience?
So there's many moments, Nico. There's the big moments and then there's the everyday moments that to me made more of a difference. If I could mention probably two that really stand out, definitely the Mayor Citizens Academy. I had the honor of not just managing but also creating the Mayor Citizens Academy, the first Mayor Citizens Academy for Orange County, but also the first Mayor Citizens Academy completely in Spanish. So that was a huge undertake within the departments to try to get the departments to make sure that everything was provided for our citizens in Spanish. But it was very well received also by our community. So I would say that's one of my biggest one. But also I had during COVID, we launched a $26 million grant for our small businesses and to be able to recover after or during COVID. And I was part of managing that program. Those were probably the ones that I would say highlight my 30 years, but it's the little ones, it's the ones when you connect our everyday resident with a resource they didn't know, or when you are at a ribbon cutting for a small business an entrepreneur that was a dream at one point and now we're opening our business in Orange County. So it's those the ones that are more gratifying. The ones that I remember the most are the everyday ones. The bigger ones are the ones that you will always remember, but the ones that were smaller, the way you impacted the community on an everyday basis, those are the ones that I will forever carry.
That's amazing. Especially as some of the people in this room are business owners and entrepreneurs. Do you feel that grant you mentioned, that resource was pretty well, people like enjoyed that and were excited about
It
that?
was received. So we had two different ones. The first one that we launched was during COVID, and that one was definitely needed because a lot of our businesses were closed. So it helped businesses pay the rent, pay employees, so they didn't have to lay off employees. The second time that there was a second round that we did, what we found out was that businesses were recovering very fast after COVID. We have a very resilient community in our business world, And although the funding was there, it was, I would say, not that it wasn't needed, businesses had already recovered. So it was one of those programs that we launched, and then we realized, was it successful? Was it not successful? I find that it was successful because the community didn't need it,
Mm,
and we were able to reallocate the funding for other purposes that the county needed.
mm.
So it was both both times were very well received.
So along the way of that journey, what were some challenges that you faced, and kind of how have you navigated through those challenges throughout your career?
So I say that most of the challenges come usually in times of crisis in Orange County. Um, COVID was one of them, right? We are in, I would say, the center of hurricane capital. Right? We get several hurricanes a year, usually every year.
Mm,
You, and when we talk about challenges, it's usually in those times of crisis that we experience most of the challenges. And it's about adjusting. In Orange County government, it's about adjusting what services are needed during those times. Obviously, during COVID, everything changed, right? And it was listening to what the needs of the community were and how do we provide services during those times. The shots, the mask, the the hand sanitizers, right, during COVID. During hurricane season, sandbags, flooding that takes place. How do we send the information out to our citizens? How we open up our main lines? So when it comes to challenges, to me, is more like listening to what's happening in the community and being able to adjust to provide the services that are needed during that time.
understood. When it comes to running a campaign, a lot of people don't have the chance to be, close to a campaign. Can you share anything that might surprise people about what it takes to be involved in a campaign like you're running?
Yeah, this is definitely very different than anything I've ever done. One of the things that I have found is that it gets very personal. You, in order to be able to earn the citizens trust, the residents trust, you have to meet them where they're at. We're knocking on doors every day, talking to our residents every day, getting to learn about each sector of District 3 is very, very diverse. And in order to be able to connect, you have to get on a personal level. So I would say that's one of the parts that I found interesting. I'm a public servant, not a politician. So that is also out of my comfort zone. I rather continue working with my community and being involved than the politics itself. So it's that personal level of getting to know the residents and meeting them where they're at, listening to the concerns they have for the community, and be uh, personal about it, but also be human and compassionate about what's happening in our community.
Mhm, mhm. With you in the middle of a campaign, what does your day-to-day look like? What's a typical day?
Our days are super busy, and a lot of planning. I find myself that we do planning for planning. We are planning on Sundays for the week. We're planning in the morning for the day. We're planning at night for the next day. There's a lot of community events that we attend. There's a lot of door knocking. We constantly communicate, working on what message to send out. So there is a lot, like I said, a lot of planning, a lot of community involvement, community meetings, events that we attend. At the Board of County Commissioners, I like to participate, be there, find out what's happening in the community. So you're constantly involved either at events, at door knocking, talking to residents, at board hearings, community meetings. So very busy, very busy.
Love that. Okay. Do you have Does anything come to mind for like advice that you'd give somebody, somebody that might be listening that one day they might run for a campaign? Just any like one or two
Yeah.
tips or thoughts
So
about running campaign?
one first one, get comfortable shoes. You're gonna be doing lots of walking, and be willing to listen. Be willing to listen. I think that's the main important thing. I love making. Sometimes when I'm canvassing, uh, knocking on somebody's door could be a quick conversation. Others take 20 minutes because there's residents that are really involved. They really want to get to know who they're going to vote for, and you want to be able to spend that time with them. And we'll start talking about the needs of the community. We start talking about personal issues that they've had as residents. So comfortable shoes and be ready to listen and be willing to listen.
You did serve as special assistant to Mayor Jerry Demings.
Yes.
Could you tell or share anything like what stood out with that experience or anything that you took away from that experience?
It was definitely a privilege to work with Mayor Jerry Demings. Leadership takes a lot of compassionate. You have to be compassionate. You have to be willing to work with your community. One of the things I learned from him is that you have, as a leader, you have to be able to plan ahead, look into the future, have a vision for the county while managing what's happening today. So it takes balance of be a visionary, but also don't lose track of what's happening today in this moment in the present. Mayor Demings, I think of him very highly and the opportunities that he brought. He wanted to make sure that every citizen was heard and that the community, as diverse as we are, that everyone felt included. So those are the things that are, to me, are very important in a leader, someone that listens, someone that is inclusive, someone that's caring.
Mhm. Do you have any like interesting stories from working with Mayor Jerry Demings, like being in that? That's like a powerful position. Anything come to mind?
Yeah. I love their conversations. We will have random conversations. My office was like literally just a couple doors down from him. And he will randomly just stop by and he'll like, hey Marthaly, what's going on today? And we would just have random conversations. Those things I will miss. I will miss the conversations that were not part of the initiatives that we were doing or the programs. It was more like, what did you do this weekend and how are the kids? And that those candor conversations that someone that is the mayor of Orange County can still relate to you on a personal level.
Mhm.
Those are the things that matter. That you're not just the mayor of Orange County as this political figure of Orange County that everybody respects. He's also a person. He's also a husband, a father, a grandfather, and to be able to carry those conversations like his granddaughters at the dance recitals or what his honeydew list for the weekend that he was doing over the weekend, knowing that there's a person behind this leader in Orange County.
We're sitting here 4 years from now, and we're having this conversation. What do you hope that the people of District 3 end up realizing was improved due to your leadership if you do get elected as
All right, so let's manifest this. We are going to get elected.
when you get elected?
So in 4 years from today, we'll have this
Perfect.
conversation again. I want to be remembered as someone that actually listened and cared for. I want the citizens, the residents of District 3 to feel like we have made improvements together.
Mm.
That when decisions were being made throughout the years, that they felt included. Those are the things I would like the residents to remember, that they felt they had someone that listened to them, that they felt included in decisions that were being made, and we have worked on improvements together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did mention that you wanted to make sure that you felt within reach to the
Yes,
community, like they could actually talk to representatives.
so
Can you expand on that at all?
yes, absolutely. So with the Mayor Students Academy, that to me taught me a lot. And one of the things that I learned is that sometimes our residents don't feel included or don't feel like government can be accessible. I want to be able that when something is happening in District 3 or in the county, it doesn't matter. As a commissioner, you work for every resident, right? We focus on our districts. But I want to make sure that if there is a concern, Nico, if you don't live in District 3 and you're like, Marthaly, this is happening in my neighborhood, that you can pick up the phone and call me, call the office, and that I am accessible to you, not just the office is accessible. Marthaly will be at the meetings, Marthaly will be working with you. And by doing that, that the residents, the citizens feel that government is approachable. I'm from Puerto Rico, and sometimes with the Mayor Citizens Academy, I learned that a lot of people don't have that connection with government, that they don't realize that we're just literally a phone call away, that commissioners could be your lifeline when things are happening in your community. And I want to make sure that the residents feel that their government is approachable and that they're able to connect without feeling that there's so many barriers.
What would you say is most important for the people of Orange County to know about you and what you stand for?
That I'm a public servant is what I've done my whole life. I have almost 30 years working with the community as a public servant. So more than politics, I'm about the community. I'm about the people. That I will do my best to always allow my residents to feel that they can approach and that I will listen. I always, like I tell my kids, we might not always see eye to eye, but I will always be there to listen and try to come up with solutions together. And that's the same approach I want to take as a commissioner. We might not always see eye to eye, but I want to make sure that the residents feel listened and included whenever decisions are being made.
And then can we dive into just one or two things on your platform?
Sure, definitely. So, one of the things that I am very passionate about is what I consider responsible growth. We talk about smart growth and affordable or sustainable growth, but I prefer to refer to it as responsible growth. And by that, I mean that everyday elected officials, commissioners need to be responsible and accountable for the decisions that we make, how those decisions affect today, how it affects generations to come, and how it affects our environment. So, being responsible for the decisions that we're making as commissioners. The other one is a little bit more personal, is affordability. And I have shared this with other people, but my children, both young adults, 25 and 27, at one point in their life left Orange County because it was simply too expensive to live here. I would like our community, I would like our families not to be separated because of affordability. So my goal is to continue working on solutions, programs, initiatives to make Orange County a little bit more affordable for our families to remain here. We always say, come to visit and stay to work. So I would like them to stay to live together as a family. Public safety is dear to my heart as well. As we continue making changes with how property taxes might be collected in Orange County, we want to make sure that our residents don't feel the consequences of those changes,
Mhm.
that the services that we provide continue being the services that we have been provided or more, not less. So funding our fire stations, funding our sheriff's office, even our code enforcement, animal services. Those are departments that provide services for our community. I want to make sure that we continue providing our public safety departments the way we need to. But more than anything, Nico, like you've heard, I want to make sure that the residents feel that they have someone that will listen to them. So I want the residents and to feel that government is approachable, that they can contact our office, and that they will be included in the decisions being made in the county.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
Thank
Like,
you. Thank you there.
on more of a personal level
Mm.
for Marthaly, what does your kind of future look like? What do you hope that you're kind of remembered for?
The commissioner that cared, the commissioner that cared and that always was there for the community. As commissioners or elected officials, sometimes we focus more on the politic part of our job. I want to continue focusing on the public servant part of my job. I was once asked, what's going to happen when you get elected because you've always been a public servant, you've always done the work? How will that change? I'm like, it won't change. To me, it can change because it's who I am. I will continue wanting to be the one doing the work. So I will continue being involved in the community meetings and having the conversations with the residents. So I want to be remembered as the commissioner that always cared, always listened, and always included the community in making decisions.
And then for people that want to stay connected with you, Marthaly, on what's going on with the campaign, how can they stay tuned?
Okay, so they can follow me at all our social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and our website at Vote Marthaly. And you can find me under Marthaly Irizarry for Orange County Government or Vote Marthaly.
Well, Marthaly, with that, I look forward to celebrating with you once you get elected. Thank
Yes,
you so
thank
much.
you. Thank you. We're all looking forward to it. Thank you, Nico.
Perfect.
Thank you.